Tell me a little bit more about the rehab that you received, post-stroke up until you were introduced to the NewGait.
When I first had my stroke, I went to inpatient therapy at a hospital for about a month. And then I went almost immediately after returning home, I went to outpatient therapy. And during that first, 6 months, I was walking pretty well. I was able to, like side shuffle. And then it got colder and my therapy ended. I wasn't driving to an adaptive gym anymore because it got colder. And I think my muscles just kind of atrophied a little bit. And then by the end of that spring, now this would be like the first year and a half after my stroke. By the time that spring came around, I was very off balance. And like we had gone to the doctor again, make sure I didn't have another stroke or something. But it was all just physical. And so I have been to therapy 3 different places, including Gaylord, over the last 10 years, probably about 5 or 6 times. And this last time, it was just me who initiated it. I had asked if she was willing to try this new thing that I saw. I was just hell-bent on doing it. And that's where we are now. I'm using it every day. I put it on around the house because it kind of grounds me and keeps my balance so I can do things around the house easier. And then probably 3 times a week, I've been walking with my husband outside with the whole thing on. I tend not to wear the harness in the house. I find that the gait belt and the bungee cords that are right like from my hips really do a great job pulling down and grounding me. It's good because it boosts my confidence. I'm walking now, the longest I walked was 0.8 of a mile. And I did it all without holding on to my husband's arm. So that was like incredible.
And what were you doing prior? Just for
I always
comparison.
held on. I would always hold on to his arm. And in the case that I did not, I couldn't go very far. I tend to veer to one side. I was good just standing. If he would, I'll drop you off, I'll go park the car. I would say no, because I knew that I couldn't stand still and wait for him all that time without really like losing my balance. I would like hold on to a wall. People would be like, okay, so now I feel like I can stand and have a conversation when I'm wearing it. And then when I take it off, most times, not always, I'm not there yet, but most times I feel that I can apply that groundedness. Like I know to put weight back in my heels and not forward, to scrunch up my toes and cling to the ground. It's good.
Danielle, before you got the new step, were you taking walks at all, even holding on to your husband?
No, I mean, very rarely he would say that, and I would not make it long. And I'd always hold on to him. And it's hard because, well, you've seen me walk and I would veer towards the right. My elbow would hit his ribs all the time. It's going on for 10 years. So it's nice not to be able to hold on to him when I have that on.
And just so I can understand the time frame, how long have you been using the NewGait? How long in therapy, and then how long since you've been using it at home?
Well, Sue, you had a 30-day free trial.
I was seeing you for a while, but once you got your own, then we were just using that one.
So a couple months here.
Tell me how you found out about NewGait, because it's always interesting to hear how people find out about it.
Yeah. It really was just luck. I had told Sue that like this happened to me 10 years ago. I have never joined a stroke support group. And one time, I think it was through Gaylord, I got an email about it, and they had like seated exercise or adaptive exercise. And I thought, well, I want to, join this group. So I've never officially been on this group other than I'm receiving emails about different things that they have. And I got an email that said, okay, here are the classes we offer. You may want to check out other links. And one of them was called nostroke.org. KNOW. And so I clicked on it just to see what was out there and read things. And they had some podcasts. And one of them caught my eye because the word gait was spelled GAIT. And I thought, what's this? I watched that podcast. That was it. And I just went through the internet, Google, anything I could find on you, videos. And I was like, that's it. I want to try that.
So, you had your stroke 10 years ago. So I'm sure there were other devices that you may have used, or whether that's an AFO or other assistive device. Has there been any other devices that you have used, and how has that gone?
Well, I have used a rollator. I don't like it because I tend to hunch over. I also kick the wheel with my left foot a lot. So, and I feel like it will tip actually because of the way I'm leaning. So I don't feel, steady with that. I've tried a couple different canes. Like I said, I'm just terrible at it. I don't know why. Like I put the cane out really far and I shouldn't. And it's just not good. I've tried, I had an AFO. I told Sue I didn't like it. I stopped wearing it because I had lost my balance back in September and fell. And now this is not the first time I've done that, but this time really hurt. And I think the reason was because the AFO held my left leg and ankle so stiff that it couldn't bend when I needed it to. And so I took a harder fall, I think, than I ever had before. And so I stopped wearing that on my own. And I have a mobility scooter, which I do still use, like in any place that I have to go for on vacation, a lot of walking that I can't keep up with people.
Now, with the NewGait, what do you think, or what do you feel the NewGait is doing to help you? Or how do you feel like it is helping you?
As I spoke with you before on the phone, it just makes sense. Like the resistance bands, I feel like I do a what's it called, Sue? Circumduction or
where your leg comes out around the circumduction on your left leg when you walk and with the stairs.
Yes, thank you. I tend to use a green band there, or a red one at least, because it's stronger and I feel that it controls it a little bit more. The neat thing about the NewGait, when Sue first put it on, she put the harness on me and then everything clicked. And as I said before, when I have at least the gait belt on, the cords from the hip, I feel it's just like pulls me down and I feel so grounded with that. That's number one. It helps with my posture. It's just not normal gait if you're like all hunched over. I need things to be aligned. So it helps keep things in line. But I can also get immediate feedback with the cords. For example, recently I was walking, my husband videoed, and I watched it. I'm like constantly in this mini squat. So I try things. And you know what? I think that the cord in the back, from the back of the gait belt behind my leg, it was like preventing me, I think it was preventing my left leg from fully extending like I would on my right leg. When you step and you do heel toe and load on it, the left was never doing it. So I was getting these little choppy steps, and I knew maybe that was partially me, but I think it was the bands also, they were preventing me. So I was fighting against it. So I took it off and I haven't been wearing that. But then yesterday I had it on around the house and I was like, I wonder if I should take that one off that's pulling up on my toe. So I play with it and I get immediate feedback like that. I think that's really neat. I mean, my husband said, well, can you even tell when you switch things? And I can. I'll say something's not right. Something's pulling or it's not strong enough. And I just adjust it. I'm not pretty when I walk, but I'm walking and I'm not holding on to his arm. And I think it will only get better. Just retraining my body and putting it where it should be, putting things in place where they should be, like my hips and shoulders aligned, or controlling that circumduction, that kind of thing. It's really neat.
Grounded. We've heard that a lot. A lot of wearers of the NewGait have said that, where they feel like the unit is making them more grounded. And so it's
Definitely.
very interesting to hear you use that exact phrase and that exact terminology. And the fact that you're tweaking it, that's part of the beauty of the system, is that it is versatile. And if you have a configuration, you're not stuck with that, because people change day by day. Some days are easier than others, but also as they progress, people change. And so the unit is able to adapt to that. And you sound like you're very in tune with your body, and you're very in tune with what's going on. You feel all of those different cord adjustments, all those different elastic band adjustments, and you're able to do that. Kudos to you for sure for being able to do that. Now I want to actually hear, Sue, your perspective, as a physical therapist, on the changes that you have seen within Danielle. It sounds like you've seen her in the past, and you've kind of seen her maybe progress a little bit. And so tell me a little bit about when you first saw her, and then also this newest bout of therapy sessions and her progression with the NewGait.
Sure. One of the biggest things that Danielle wanted to do and achieve, her main goal, is she wanted to walk next to her husband without holding him, to do it herself, not to fall and feel steady, and to be able to walk outside on some uneven terrain. She also wanted to be able to do some gardening. She wanted to be able to stand still. Well, I don't even know if you realize that that was your goal, but as soon as you put the NewGait on, we were talking about how you were feeling, and she said, "Oh my gosh, I've been standing here for a few minutes. I have not lost my balance, and I can talk and balance at the same time."
Yeah.
And she was amazed when she realized it, because she has not been able to do that at all. Like she says, if she's waiting for her husband, she had to hold on to something. But with the NewGait, she was able to balance, shift her weight, talk, turn her head, and stay there for a few minutes without losing her balance. One other thing that you have been dealing with is a lot of ataxia. In other words, your body shakes a lot, your legs, your upper body, your core. Once you have the NewGait on, it gave you stability and helped to control that shaking, that ataxia, so that you call it grounded, you had that stability to be able to move and to be able to walk. And if you lost your balance, you have the ability to catch the balance and regain it, whereas before you did not. The biggest thing I see is that you have a lower risk of falling and a lower risk of losing your balance and hurting yourself. You've had a lot of falls in the past. And when I had seen you in the past, there wasn't really anything that we found that helped you with that. And I know that you were frustrated and you felt like, well, this is the way it's going to be. You felt like you plateaued. And I also felt like you had plateaued when I had seen you a few years ago. When you emailed me back, I believe in January, you just sounded so excited about what you saw. You wanted me to check it out. I immediately checked it out online. And I saw some people that were very similar to you that were using the NewGait device. And so I immediately agreed to be trained, do the online training. We were able to do the trial. And I'm excited to say that since Danielle has used it, I've had other patients of mine use it. One of my patients purchased the dorsiflexion assistance for one of his legs, also after a stroke. And I'm still seeing him, and he likes it so much better than the brace. So he's not using the AFO anymore. We have had many other therapists use the device with other patients of all different abilities, all different sizes, all different abilities of strength. Some people use a walking device, some people don't, but they've all had very, very good success. We have since been approved by our outpatient department to get a full NewGait device to use in our clinic, as well as to use it in 2 of our other satellites as well, using it with orthopedic-based issues as well as neurological-based issues. So I'm very excited about that. And I'm so glad that you were able to teach other people as well. I led an in-service 2 sessions where Danielle came to one of the sessions and talked about the benefits that she noticed. You talked about how you were using it at the time, what your goals were, and what you had achieved. And the therapists were able to ask you questions, and you're able to teach them what you've learned and how it's benefited you. And because of that, right after the in-service, within an hour, people were kind of practically fighting over, okay, who's going to use it? I want to try this. And over the few weeks after that in-service, I had some cancellations on my schedule. So anytime that someone was using it, I would go out to the clinic and help them to figure out the best way to use it for the patients based on what I learned from you. And the therapists were able to also tweak the bands, tweak the position, add different color bands because of what I learned working with you as well. And I think the more the physical therapists use the NewGait system with various patients and various symptoms that we're working on, various deficits, the more that we see the benefits overall. Since we haven't received our unit that we are going to order soon, that we got approval for, we did give it back after our trial period. And Benga was nice enough to give us an extra 30 days, so we kept it for 60 days. And when I sent it back, for days after that, the therapist said, "Where's the NewGait? Wait, I wanted to use it with this patient." This patient was counting on using it. He loves it. So that tells me that we are doing the right thing to use NewGait with our patients and to really see good functional benefits as well. Also wanted to say that the company has been very supportive of me, and I've been able to do Zoom calls with staff from NewGait, with Benga, with Kim, as well as ask any questions I have, whether it be phone calls with Kim, as well as emails. I've been emailing you, Benga. So the support, I feel, has really made a difference in my learning the device and helping patients to use the device at its greatest potential. I think without the ability to reach out to you, it would have been a little more difficult because we had so many questions. But once you answered our questions, you were very supportive. And then I felt like I could get to that next level and try the device with so many different diagnoses and really to benefit patients overall. So the support that you gave to us, we really appreciate it. And I know that Danielle also reached out to you. So your company is very open to having patients reach out directly to you, which is very exciting. So we appreciate that. Thank you. And also my fellow therapists also were very open to trying the NewGait device with various problems that they were dealing with their patients to work with improving their function and improving the symptoms that they were finding in all different patients with different diagnoses. So that helped to open my mind as well. And I think doing the one-on-one in-service, the 2 sessions I did with my staff really helped that. And then having Danielle be part of that also helped, so that they said, oh, well, if it helps Danielle with, maybe it'll help my other patient with the issue that they're having. And then once they experimented and used it, it just opened up their world as well.